I'm going to start recording. Um, yeah, well, that's amazing. I didn't realize you'd heard of Acid Rain.
Yeah, Moshkinstein, right? Yeah,
Yes.
cool, man. Yeah, back then, you could only buy so many records, but my friend Jamie, yeah, he bought your record and had it, and we'd listen to it all the time. That's pretty awesome, man.
Oh, that's so cool, man. That is
Yeah,
so cool. That's
yeah,
so cool.
right.
Funnily enough, that's the only release that we had until our comeback album in 2019. That's the only release we ever had in the States.
Oh, I gotta check that out, man. Cool.
So yeah, but for some reason that we seem to have in Canada and strangely Australia, we seem to have a like people knew about us back in the day. I think we were one of the few bands where you could actually get hold of the record.
Yeah, you could. Yeah, yeah. My friend just got it at our local store. Like they get imports, Records on Wheels. So
Yeah.
maybe Records on Wheels across Canada got it. Yeah, that's pretty cool. What was the record label?
You probably picked it up on Combat.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
right on.
Over here it was on Under One Flag, which was an
Oh yeah,
imprint
I know that.
on Music for Nations.
Yeah, what was on like Exploited had a record on that, hey?
Yeah, I think they would have been on the Rough Justice imprint, which was kind of like sort of punk.
Right, right. Okay,
Um, and so yeah, they had like Agnostic Front and yeah,
right. Okay.
Grimstones, and they
Yeah.
basically used to lease. They used to license pretty much everything Combat put out
Okay. Cool.
until Ludacris, and they decided not to. And Combat retaliated by not releasing our second album in the States. So
Oh,
it's
bummer.
kind of like, yeah, one of those things, but makes for a cool story 30 years
Yeah.
later.
Yeah. Cool. Oh, that's pretty
Um,
rad.
so yeah, so basically the band quit in 91, and I started doing stand up in 1994,
Oh, cool.
and to which I'm still do to this day. Um, and so there's been a lot going on in between the band, but yeah, everything comes back to the band at the end of the day. We've been back 10 years now.
Yeah, cool, man. Well, that's pretty rad.
Cool, man. Well, look, hey, look, now you finished interviewing me. Welcome, Todd. Um,
Cool. Yeah, thank you.
uh, Now, my relationship with Propagandhi goes back to Empires.
Okay.
Um, and I heard through you guys because I'm sort of a little bit older than you. I think you're 53, I'm 55.
Yeah, I'm 52. Yeah.
Right, okay. Well, I'm 55. And
That's pretty cool you guys had a record out so soon if you're only 3 years older than me.
dude, we're in the studio in December. New one coming out next year.
Wicked, man. Cool.
But come on, stop it. Let's keep this about you.
Yeah.
Um, so um, there was this guy I was working with at the time who was into like sort of metal. He was about 10 years younger than me. And
Okay.
I knew he liked punky stuff. So I was playing him a lot of hardcore stuff and introducing him to things like, Agnostic Front and Dead Kennedys and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And he said, "Oh, I've got a band for you." And I was like, "All right, yeah. Have you ever heard of Propagandhi?" I was like, "Nah." And that's when he gave me your album. And I was like, wow. I have the just over there. I have the anniversary edition,
Oh, cool. Right on.
the CD release, um, and so I've been a fan ever since.
Cool.
And now the weird thing is that I have always, and I don't know if it's because this guy introduced me to you, but I've always thought of you as more of a punk slash hardcore band than a thrash band than metal.
Yeah.
Is that just me?
It's hard to say, like I think so. I think we more consider ourselves for some unknown reason more of a punk band, but like
Mm,
I say, like we grew up listening to all the bands on all the poster behind you.
yeah,
You know what I mean? So it's like it's gonna be in there whether yeah. So
yeah,
yeah, to us we're just playing what we want to hear, sort of, you know what I mean? Like we just uh You know what I mean? Just playing your guitar, and when something comes out, that's what comes up, you know? Like, and
Yeah,
I
but
personally like,
I, I'm-
uh,
I
I
also
just
think
tend to play more chords, you know?
yeah,
Yeah.
I think there's more, but also I think there's more that identifies you in the hardcore realm for me would be your lyrics,
Yeah.
your politics, your ethics,
Yeah.
um, which, you know, let's face it, your average metal band thinks Essex is a county in England.
Right.
You know, so I think that alone kind of sets you apart. The other thing, though, is that as a singer myself, who, you know, for some people, they consider us a crossover band. We get a lot of that even now.
Yeah.
Um, and apparently, I've been told that that's because of my vocals. There's a punky element to them, and I went, okay, right, fine. And I do all sorts of things apparently you're not supposed to do. But then I listened to Propagandhi, and for me, what marks you out differently to a metal band is the phrasing and the use of vocals.
Right.
Because to me, and this is a compliment, to me, they're just wrong. They're just
Right.
like,
Right.
do you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
It's like it's just I hear them and I'm just like, how does anyone think to do this here? You know?
Yeah. Well, on Empires, like I remember like there's certain songs like that Ordinary People. Uh it's like I remember thinking like kind of like making almost like Fate's Warning and Queensryche type riffs, and then thinking, well, no one's really yelled over this kind of stuff before, you know? And then and
Brilliant.
then some and then sometimes go the opposite way, you know, like play really thrashy and then like sing over it in a different way or something. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's cool, man. That's cool. And funnily, I've identified a kind of propagandy kind of trick vocally as well. And that's like there's a whole bunch of words that go over a riff, but then there's like maybe one or two more words that still need to be added in. And so and so they'll be like, but but and there's like
Yeah,
those run-ups and stops and
yeah,
run-ups
yeah,
and
yeah.
stops. It's like it's uniquely propagandy, but it's also it kind of again it's more of a sort of punky arrangement.
Yeah, yeah. I think it comes really from us being like basically untrained and you know what I mean, just trying to do our thing, but you know,
Yeah.
just having a little bit of I don't know what it is yet. Yeah.
Yeah, it's that sort of propagandy sort of sauce that you put on it, and you know.
Yeah.
But having said that, I do think that the new album is probably the most metal sounding album
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
that you've done, and to an extent that it caught me by surprise. Well, this is how much it caught me by surprise. I do a podcast every now and then called Old Bollocks with a colleague and co-host called Old Head who has his own show over on YouTube,
Okay.
and we basically review stuff, and we never know what each other are going to review. And he was like, "Oh, I hope you're going to be reviewing this as well." And I was like, "Okay, what is it? Propaganda." I was like, "What? I didn't even know there was a new album out. I'm ashamed." So I downloaded it from Bandcamp while while he did his review, and then we did part two a couple of a few weeks later, where I got to have my say. Um, but that's the thing, isn't it? It's getting the voice out. It's getting, you know, I'm a fan, and you know, I had no idea. And it's as
Yeah.
somebody who's in a band myself, it's so frustrating sometimes.
Yeah, I know what you mean, yeah. Yeah, you know, there's some things you don't have much control over, you know? Like you can make the songs, but you can't yeah, you don't really have like
Yeah,
unless you want to sit there like I guess it's partially our fault because it's very hard to sit there on social media like trying to pump yourself up, you know? So
yeah.
it's like I guess we should have been or could be doing it more, but
Yeah, but I do like what you do, as in your presence. Like for instance, the tour flyers that you posted at the moment, which is where you refer to your fans in two posts, one as fuckers, and one is shitheads, I think.
That must be Chris. Yeah,
Yeah, but I like that. I like that.
yeah. It's just yeah, it's all in fun, just whatever. Who cares?
Um, so on a personal note, you played on one of the albums that helped me get through lockdown, which was the last Protest the Hero album.
Oh yeah, cool. Right on. Yeah, that was a tough one to say the
Yeah, I was
Yeah,
like,
I sat there for like a couple months, like just sitting there trying to. They sent me the song like at a slow speed, on Guitar Pro where I could go faster and faster. Yeah, after it got like 90%, like to get that last 10% was just killer. Like to be able to play it.
yeah,
Yeah.
but a good workout. Bearing, I was going to say bearing in mind it was in lockdown, but it wasn't, was it? That's when the album came out.
Yeah, I guess so. Yeah, I don't recall lockdown. Yeah. But yeah, that was fun, man. That was fun.
And
I tried to make the bass line as crazy as I could just to live up to their kind of thing. Like I didn't want to come on and be lame.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh well, there's some phenomenal performances on that album. I mean, it's come out.
That's crazy. Yeah, they're crazy.
Oh, absolutely insane. Yeah, and weirdly, a band seen as kind of prog rock, prog metal band.
Yeah.
There's there's like tons of punk overtones in there,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
but Roddy takes it off in a completely different direction.
Yeah, I like that guy, man. He's funny. I like all those guys a lot. And their old bass player Arif as well. Yeah. Such awesome guys.
Yeah, do you know Billy Talent at all?
I no, not personally. I do not. Yeah.
Ah, right, okay. No,
Yeah.
they're friends of mine. Do you know
Oh,
what?
cool.
Do you know what I've just done? Do you know what I've just done? I've just gone, oh, Canadian sort of punky band, another Canadian punky band. Right, they're bound to know each other, right?
Yeah. Yeah,
Pretty lazy.
it would make sense, you know what I mean? Uh like we'll cross every now and then someone from like some 41 or something. Just
Yeah,
yeah, but, like Ontario is actually like for us like 24 hours a drive away, and we've just never played any shows with them or anything, so yeah, yeah, we don't know
yeah.
them.
Speaking of playing shows, uh, are you are you going to be getting across the seas at all with this album? Is there plans to come to Europe or the UK?
We have no plans yet. We're just kind of cruising along doing our thing. Yeah,
Yeah,
that'd be nice. Yeah.
yeah, sure. I mean, is this? I mean, when you put this album together, um, is there a thought of like how you're going to promote it or things like tours and stuff like that, or is it very much a case of look, we'll do what we can when we can?
Yeah, I think we just make songs, and we don't really think that far ahead. We just kind of just do it like it's all about the songs, and then uh that's where we like it. We just like it to just jam and be in our jam place and have fun, and like touring's all right, but I mean it's just longer and longer. Just everything starts to like hurt a little more. Like my hip feels screwed from just even going on the last 2.5 week trip. You're
Yeah,
just trying to go as hard as you can, and whatever, and then yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it just gets kind of tougher a little bit, sort of.
yeah. It can turn into a little bit of a job.
Yeah. Yeah, like we're still enjoying the shows and all that. It's just whatever. Who cares? Yeah.
Yeah, it's the
So,
music business, isn't it? Hurry up and
yeah.
wait.
Yeah, and everything just always kind of feels disappointing, like the way that like Live Nation and all that gets in, just feels like everything's just this little play that just doesn't make sense anymore, and social media kind of makes it all less fun. And yeah, it used to be you're playing for like just a certain amount of people, and now you're playing for social media, phones, and just uh,
Yeah,
yeah, it just kind of becomes something that it wasn't before in a way, you know, that in a way that like you feel like, yeah, I don't know, just this the spirit of things is music and all that has changed so much. It just you almost feel like why bother, you know? But
Yeah. Well, things have changed. I mean,
yeah,
of that, there's no doubt. Um, I mean, I guess changed, evolved, you know,
yeah, exactly, yeah,
regressed. However, um, I guess they've just been affected by everything else that's been affected by the proliferation of, the internet, social media, etc.
yeah, yeah. Just
Um,
it's all something that's like you know when like maybe grandma and grandpa were sad when the something came along and kind of ruined the old days, you know? Like I almost feel like maybe I'm at that age, like I really am at the age where I feel like I'm yeah, just not interested in what society has to offer anymore or something.
yeah, it's a strange old place out there at the moment. That's for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
That's for sure. I mean, obviously, you're having an interesting time with your noisy neighbours. That's
Oh yeah.
I mean, looking at that from the other side of the world, you're just like, what? It just seems so unbelievable.
Yeah, it's crazy, yeah. To have to yeah, put up with that stuff and think about it and hear about it. Yeah, it's lame. It's so lame.
You can't get away from it either.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, just yeah, it's disgusting.
Yeah, yeah. So going back, I want to go right back to the beginning, because you've been in the band since '97.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you, Wikipedia. Um, so coming up on your 30-year anniversary, if you go back to, I know it's hard to imagine, but if you go back to when you sort of first joined the band,
Yeah.
um, what were you doing around those times? Was it, were you a bass player looking for a band? How did it all sort of come together?
Well, I was in a different band called I Spy, and we had a split 10-inch with Propagandhi, and we toured across Canada with them and all that. And like me and Chris and Jordan and John Sampson, their old bass player, were all friends. So like I lived with Chris, yeah, and John would come over all the time, even after Chris moved out, and so we were all kind of friends. And then yeah, the couple guys from I Spy just kind of quit after we toured Europe in '95, I think, or something. Maybe '96. Yeah, I can't remember. I think '95, I guess. And then yeah, Chris just asked me when John and Propaganda split ways. Yeah, Chris just asked me if I wanted to fill in on bass. And yeah, and also me, Chris, and James, the drummer of I Spy, we were all kind of like we had this little band going too, and we're jamming a little bit, and I was on bass on that. So yeah, but I played guitar in I Spy, blah blah blah, and then uh, yeah, and then yeah, Chris just asked me if I wanted to fill in on bass and Propaganda. I was like, yeah, sure, and then yeah, just kind of just kept doing it, I guess.
Yeah, but fill in 28
Yeah,
years later. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
So was it one of those where was there never actually a moment where you were kind of like inducted into the band as a full-time member? It was just like it just became a thing.
I think I was like at some point I was like even like uh yeah, I think I got this little pay upgrade and was and was yeah, signed some papers to be part of the actual band, you know?
Yeah.
Like even legally, I guess. Yeah.
And musically, what were you listening to around those times? What kind of stuff was flowing you about?
I guess like Los Crudos, Drop Dead, Fate's Warning, this guy gets Garnet Rogers, this guitar player from Canada, he's kind of a folk guy, but really intricate guitar playing, like
Yeah.
next level, you know, like way next level.
Yeah,
And
if it was electric guitar, everybody would be raving about him.
yeah, yeah, the guy's completely insane. Yeah. I think it's one blah blah blah, drop dead. Yeah, kind of stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
still, around that time is actually when music, uh, like punk and hardcore and metal and all that, like to me, really went through this dip where I couldn't find much that was interesting to me.
Yeah.
Uh, like truly, like from 90, around 95 to 2001, then metal started to get a couple inklings, like, oh, maybe it's coming back a little bit, you know? But I
Yeah.
even sent away, I tried to like send away for some of those like black metal records, you know, like Mayhem and whatever,
Yeah.
uh, you know, those kind of things. And Immortal, the first Immortal, like I ordered them, but they just kind of like they seemed like now listening, you might think it's like was so fresh and cutting edge, but to me it seemed like they're just kind of playing like what Bathory and that was playing in the 80s, you know?
Yeah.
It was kind of, I liked it fine, you know, but it wasn't like this mind blowing thing where I'm like, I want to do this too, uh,
Yeah.
you know? And then, yeah, basically that. Yeah, I was kind of like just a little lost. So I was kind of, yeah, listening actually probably to a lot of just the 80s stuff still. Like, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
Venom, Sacrifice, yeah, all kinds of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have
See,
my record, you know, I like The Accused. I remember listening to The Accused quite a bit. And
I had Blaine on the
oh,
podcast
awesome. Yeah.
a few episodes ago.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah,
Awesome.
great guy. I'll send you a link afterwards.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, they're one of
Uh,
my favorite bands. So yeah,
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. And yeah, just top man. I noticed you've mentioned Fate's Warning more than once, and so are you the metal guy in the band, or
no, no, me and Chris. Yeah, actually, before I was in Propagandhi or anything like, or knew Chris or anything like, I think that's how we kind of bonded as like guys. Like we're both into Voivod. We're actually all into the same band. Like we're all into the same kind of crossover of stuff. I think some of it comes from like what bands actually came through Winnipeg and Regina, like where I'm from as kids, you know, like the Doughboys,
yeah?
Government Issue, and stuff. But then we're also all into like the same underground bands like Voivod and
Do you know
like
what I
just
was going to
everything.
mention? I was going to mention Voivod earlier, but I thought, oh no, I can't because they're it's I'm doing the whole Canadian bands all know each other thing
Yeah,
here.
no,
But
yeah, we know Voivod now. We didn't obviously because we're way younger
yeah,
than them.
huge
Whenever,
fan.
oh yeah, us too. Yeah, whenever we run into Voivod or when they play here now, we talk to away, and we've kind of become, you know, uh, not, you know what I mean. I don't know if we could call ourselves friends, but but you know what I mean. Like,
Yeah, it's one of those weird moments that you get in a band sometimes where
yeah,
you're chatting to people that you're fans of,
yeah,
but
yeah.
you're like on the level, and it's just weird.
Yeah, yeah, I still feel like under the level, you know what I mean? You're still talking to a way. This is fucking awesome.
Oh, yeah, there's no getting over that fan
Yeah,
hump.
yeah, yeah. Same with Sacrifice, you know. Just they're too awesome. They meant too much to you. Actually, I some do you, you know SNFU, the band? Sometimes,
I know the name. I don't know the band.
yeah, they're probably I'd say my favorite band of all time. Them and Sacrifice and uh like Ted, they're old. Like they're not from Winnipeg, but Ted, their drummer, lives here. He's originally from here.
Yeah.
Like when I see him, to me, it's like if you're a Beatle fan seeing like Ringo Starr driving around, you know, you'd be like I really am like, there's fucking Ted, you know, like that's
Yeah.
how, you know what I mean? Because these bands meant as much to us as the Beatles ever meant to anyone else, you know. So
Absolutely. Well, that's I was talking about this only yesterday with one of the guys in the band. I'm just saying that it never it's cheesy, but it's true, and that is the fact that people in bands we're just super fans of other bands. That's why we're in a band.
yeah, exactly, yeah,
You
yeah,
know, it's like so you know we're all the same, but we're lucky enough that we have the ability to be able to go like I like music so much I've actually got to create some, I've got to do it.
yeah, yeah,
And we're lucky enough to be able to get that out and do that,
yeah, for sure, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
especially like I would say like I never had any natural talent or anything. I just wanted to do it so bad because I was so just the feeling you got being at those shows, looking at everything, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. And
Yeah,
there's those moments as well where it's like, you know, uh, some of us have them, some of us don't. But that moment where it's that gig, that band, that moment
yeah,
where this voice inside goes, I've got to do this.
yeah, I know what you,
I've got to be up there doing that.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think for me it was like even like as soon as I was looking at the like liner notes and the cover of Kiss Alive, you know, I was just like, okay, this fucking rules, you know, like just what the, yeah.
Oh man, do you know what? There's something about talking to people in bands from North America, and it just cannot you cannot get away from it. Between a certain few years, depending on the age of the person in the band I'm talking to from North America, it's an absolute guarantee that at some point in the interview, it's going to come up how good Kiss are. And it's that point of the interview because regular listeners will know this, but it's got to that point in the interview where I have to tell you that I think the image of Kiss is absolutely one of the best things ever. No Kiss, no Rammstein. But also, it does cover up piss weak radio rock that
Yeah.
just
Except for if you think like the listener, like when you're like whatever, you're like like 7 or 8 years old, you know, like to me, there's like everything seemed so boring, or not boring,
yeah.
just like you know what I mean. Like you're listening to like all the gold in California and songs like that, and Kenny Rogers and whatever old bullshit.
Context is everything. I
Yeah,
mean,
exactly.
like you're building the picture there of yeah. there's Kenny Rogers, and then all of a sudden there's Kiss,
Yeah,
and
exactly. Yeah.
yeah, that's an impact. That's an impact, and yeah, I've never liked them on my early journey through metal. Yeah, coming up,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's fair enough. And there's
you listen to everybody, and Kiss just did not do anything for me at all. Still don't, but there you go. Hey, you know,
well, there's
but the amount of
there's
bands that I know and love that you know categorize Kiss as an inspiration is huge.
yeah,
So
yeah,
there's something to be said for that.
yeah. Well, they're stupid as fuck as people, so you can
There is that. We have an accord, sir. I am in
yeah,
complete agreement with you on that.
yeah. So yeah, yeah, I could
I
see
know.
if someone thinks they're a bunch of chodes, I'm like, yeah, fair enough.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, Gene Simmons is like I was going to say he's like the Donald Trump of heavy metal, but he's not really, is he? That's uh who's that
Yeah,
other chucklehead? Ted Nugent.
he's an imbecile.
Yeah, he's off the reservation, man. He is just in the woods. He's
Yeah,
in the woods
he sucks.
carving, making a tree house, getting ready for uh the next. Well, we're getting ready for nuclear war or something like that.
Yeah, well, he might be right about that, I guess.
You're a cheerful bastard, aren't you? No wonder you don't want to go on tour.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean, Canada might not be there by the time you get back.
yeah. Well, as the polar ice melts, yeah, you're probably right.
Oh, I was thinking more a nuclear strike by your North American neighbours, but
Oh, no, I'm thinking ahead here because the polar ice melts, and then Russia and the U.S. both try to go for it, and there's the nuclear
I
war
mean,
for you.
I can
And
see that,
Norway.
but I can see that, but you're doing a playing with the timeline that Christopher Nolan would be happy with, because I don't see a way that you leave Canada and it's going to be a fucking long tour. If by the time you return it has melted away, I'm just saying
Oh,
that
yeah.
maybe as somebody who said 2.5 weeks is long enough on the road,
Oh, yeah, yeah, that's true.
yeah, so I'm just purely picking you up on the concept, but yeah, I mean, you know, let's settle on a nuclear strike by your North American neighbours.
Yeah, well. That would be merciful.
Oh dear me. So I'm going to go down the Canadian
Hey,
band
but
route
you think
again.
nuclear assault was way ahead of me on this game?
True. Yeah.
They
Very good
were
point.
into it.
Yeah.
They
Very,
were
very
into,
good point.
they were into that.
Oh yeah. Top set of lads.
Actually, you know
And
what? The Plague by Nuclear Assault. If you listen to it now, it doesn't, you know what I mean? It's whatever it sounds. But when it
yeah.
came out, it seemed really like fresh and kind of progressive. Remember that?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
I remember, like it seemed like they had a really felt deep and heavy, like emotionally or something. You know, I listen to that all the time. It's awesome.
Those first two Nuclear Assault records just both struggle with the production. I don't want to name drop, but I remember talking to John on this tour about Game Over and saying, look, that we were just chatting and mentioned the album and said that I'd bought it on import, had it mailed to my house, and uh, it was just the guitar sound. Come on, mate, we've got to talk about the elephant in the room. What's with that guitar sound? And he was like, yeah, I know, it's terrible, isn't it? I was like, oh right, okay, you do know then. Phew.
Yeah,
Um,
kind of murky, hey?
yeah, well, it's just piss weak. It
Yeah.
really is just like, oh, yeah. Um, and he said, yeah, it was just production and stuff like that. But those first two, the Plague was an improvement, definitely. But I don't think Nuclear Assault sounded like Nuclear Assault. I don't think they got their sound sorted out until Survive.
Yeah. Did I buy Survive? I think I did. Yeah, I think I
That's
did.
the album we toured with them on.
Okay.
Um,
That's like with radio, the insidious form?
I
That song?
dude, that is the one line off that album that was in my head. Yeah,
That's a fucking awesome song. Yeah.
I know because on tour, there was three bands we were sharing with. I can't remember. I think we were sharing with Reanimator at the time. I think it was the UK tour,
Okay.
and every morning, um, Mike, the guitarist in Reanimator, he once he'd been up about a minute, that's just at the top of his voice, there'd be this. Oh,
That's
and
very
it was yeah, it was like a cock crowing every morning, and it just became a thing. So people would just be walking around. You know what it's like, tour speak.
yeah.
Bunch of guys go away. Someone says something. Someone says it again. Boom! Everybody is saying it for the next 2 weeks. And yeah, so everybody would just walk around and just suddenly, randomly, somebody would just radio out, out of nowhere. Yeah. Um, but that was yeah. I mean, they were that was probably peak for us and for the scene really. Sort of
Yeah,
89 is
yeah,
is really where it peaks. I mean, we toured with Candlemas, Archangel, Nuclear Assault in 89, and that that was probably peak. We did a headline tour in 90 in the spring that was brilliant, and then we did another headline tour in December, and just a noticeable drop off. And it was like,
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
thrash was dying by then. And if you are ingrained in a scene, unless you're one of the founders of that scene, if the scene goes down, you go down with it.
Yeah, for sure. I've kind of found it kind of killed itself a little bit by
Dude,
bands
yes.
all like because Metallica got popular and then everyone thought they could kind of do it and just kind of watered it down. Yeah, it
Dude,
became
you have said a phrase that I've been saying on here for the last decade, which is grunge didn't kill thrash, death didn't kill thrash. Thrash turned the gun upon itself and
yeah, exactly. Yeah.
blew its brains out because it refused because it didn't evolve.
Yeah.
You hit the 90s and everybody's releasing the same fucking album.
Yeah.
Everyone's got a song about Mother Earth is dying. Everyone's got, track two or track three, side one is a ballad, whether the guy can sing or fucking not, you know. And you know,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, at
all
that
of a
point,
sudden.
like kids, like you just like you turn to like COC,
Yeah,
stuff, you turn to the accused, you're just like, okay, and you know what I mean? Like this stuff's more exciting now because the thrash is kind of, yeah, just like, let's go with this and just,
yeah.
and,
Well,
yeah, and then bands are grinding away like Drop Dead, and you're like, okay, that's fucking awesome.
that Technocracy EP by
Uh,
COC, that was like, whoa, this is a game changer.
yeah, amazing, amazing. Yeah.
Yeah.
When I first put that on, like I really liked Animosity so much. The first time I put on Technocracy, I put it on, listened to it. I don't like this. Took it off. The next week, I put it on. I give it another try, and it was like I couldn't even think of what I was thinking the week before. Like it was like the greatest thing I ever heard. Like I was like, okay, this rules. Like so dirty, the lyrics just kind of.
Well, it is, to be fair, and I'm not, you know, I'm not as I believe the phrase in North America is blowing smoke, but um, that Technocracy EP and that version of COC, to me, years later, that's that I can see how that informs Propagandhi.
Yeah, for sure. That did 100%. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a generation apart, but
Yeah.
I can absolutely see that.
Yeah. Like we had a lot, like especially for the drumming and like when we have kind of guitar solos here and there that they're like a little wilder or looser than a regular guitar solo. And I think that's because of like Woody Weatherman and stuff, on those COC and
Yeah.
like very often like we talk, like give us a drum roll like Reed Mullen would do, on Technocracy, like stuff like
Ah,
that.
Reed. Ah, good old
Yeah.
Reed.
Yeah. Just amazing band. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it's an interesting journey as well because um, I absolutely fucking love Blind.
Yeah, I would say mega disappointed when that came out. Like uh
Wow, dude,
like
I challenge you to do what you did with Technocracy the first time round. I challenge you to go back and listen to Blind now
I'll
and
try.
and,
I'll
and sit and just see what you think. Because
okay.
I genuinely, I think for me, that is the best version of COC.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
got the
yeah.
hardcore elements of Technocracy. It's got the metal and sort of southern drawl is creeping in
You.
that informs what they become. I know what they became is a grotesque variation upon the original idea. But for me, Blind is where it actually, in their musical journey, that's where they got it right.
Oh yeah?
That
Okay,
is where
well,
they got it right.
check that out
I
again.
don't worry. I love Technocracy. I love it. But Blind, I think, as an album, is just absolutely fucking killer.
Cool. I still do like to see COC live when they come. I still like it. And then we actually went in Chicago. We saw them do like reunite with the uh, three original guys playing Animosity and COC or
Oh,
Techno.
awesome.
Fucking yeah, it was awesome. Yeah,
That's the one that is cool about with Pepper though. He doesn't deny his roots by any stretch of the imagination. Some people would in his position sort of pretend that era didn't exist anymore, but yeah, he's plugged in.
yeah, cool. Yeah, I got nothing against any of those guys. Yeah, they're cool. I
Yeah.
think.
So DBC, Canadian,
I love the ABC. Yeah, fucking awesome. Yeah.
had them on the podcast
Oh,
last
right.
year.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they're awesome. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Funnily enough, a little bit like they over here, they've got a bit of an acid rain kind of thing, like like the way we are in sort of Canada. They've got that kind of going on over here in the UK.
All right. Cool.
Um, we were on the same label. Um, their album came out, and nobody was quite sure what it was. Well, I say their album. Um, the Universe album came out,
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah.
and because the first album is the first album, it's like, it's a punk band, but they're
Yeah.
clearly evolving. But all of a sudden, this punk band does, I hate to make a nationalist statement here, but does the most Canadian thing ever, which is, oh, who would have thought that a trio from Canada would put out an album and then, as their second album as a follow up, would make it a concept album about space? How very Canadian of them.
Yeah, no kidding. Yeah. Yeah, I think yeah, Genesis Explosion, that song's so amazing.
Oh man, that album, the remastered version of it, the remastering's done a beautiful job on it. Just
Oh
giving
yeah,
it,
cool.
yeah, just giving it a little bit more balls that it needed.
All right.
Um, and they've put a couple of new songs out as well on Bandcamp, and they're both rippers.
All right, I gotta check that out. Yeah. Have you heard the new Sacrifice record, Volume 6?
I haven't. You mentioned Sacrifice earlier, and I carefully steered the conversation away because I'm ignorant on
Okay,
Sacrifice.
yeah, yeah.
But
Check
there's a
out their new
number of
record.
bands. There's a number of bands called Sacrifice, so I'm wondering if this is a Canadian version or if it's.
Yeah, Canadian version, Sacrifice. Yeah, their new record's called Volume 6. Yeah, it's amazing. I listened to it more than 100 times for sure yeah.
Is it death metal?
It's like they're a thrash band. Yeah, basically.
Right.
Like
Okay.
yeah, they're started in '85. Yeah,
I, I'm.
they're top notch. Yeah, they're
Hang
my
on. I must know Sacrifice. Right. I'm going to put Sacrifice um in my phone now.
go right to their new record, Volume 6. Yeah, killer. Killer.
Right. Okay. Here we go. Canadian thrash metal band. 1983. Bloody hell.
83, holy shit, yeah.
Wow.
They're still
So
all original members, yeah. Shredding it.
really, now
I,
I've just seen a picture and I recognize the logo. I had one of their
okay, yeah.
albums.
All right, cool.
Definitely back in the day, I had one of their albums. I
Yeah.
recognize that logo. Cool. Oh man, right. Well, I'll be checking that out, definitely.
Yeah, well, your mind will be blown.
There's a band that I have absolutely lost touch with, but just looking at that logo, is literally took me back to being a 15-year-old boy in my bedroom going, I recognize that logo.
Yeah, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, like, yeah, right, okay, yeah, no, I do know them. Phew, for a minute there, I thought I was going to have to hand in my thrash metal credentials, but I've saved myself.
Yeah, there you go. Their song Reanimation was like almost like it was the headbanger national anthem in Canada in the 80s. So there was this show, The Power Hour, and it became the theme song of Power Hour, like
What was
the
the song called?
Reanimation.
Right, I will check that out.
Yeah, it's just when they'd come to town and play Reanimation, it'd be just mayhem. I remember even like, yeah, just being a kid on stage on my hands and knees looking up under Joe Rico's hair while they're playing Reanimation. He's headbanging and like all the microphones are falling all over. The singer can't even sing anymore. I was like, oh, this rules.
That's awesome. Um, I'll tell you one thing you might want to check out.
Okay.
There's an album out by a band called. Do you know the band Haken?
I don't.
Right. Okay.
Haken.
It's a UK prog band, big.
Okay.
Kind of like world tour, worldwide recognition, big.
Okay. Haken.
Mike Portnoy's favorite prog band,
Oh, okay.
and he liked him so much he took the whole band minus the drummer off and did an album with them. But
All right.
uh, their guitarist is an absolute total thrash metal nut,
Oh, cool.
and he recently put out a solo project called Tic-Talica.
Tick
Um,
Tower.
yeah,
Okay.
um, and it's it's so well put together. It really is. There's bits there where it's just literally like these are my influences. Yes, this does sound like so and so. It's supposed to, but it's such high quality. It's honestly, it's really cool. There are moments where you're like, yeah, this could be the 80s again.
All right, cool. Do
Yeah.
you ever listen to Magnum?
Oh
English?
man. Well, I my gateway band into music, the
Oh,
first
wow.
band that I was a super fan of was Marillion.
Okay, yeah.
On one of their tours, I saw Magnum supported them,
Oh, right. That's pretty cool.
and then I remember that they were supporting them, and then their new album came out, which was a Storyteller's Night,
Okay, yeah, awesome.
which I bought on picture disc because I'm an idiot. Um, and then we went to see them back at the same venue that we saw them with Marillion, except they were headlining that time.
Oh,
And
cool.
yeah, that was my, you know, just like an arrow. That was my
Yeah,
that was my sort of Magnum experience.
cool, man. Yeah, I really like them, man. If they're a couple of their recent records are really awesome too. Like a Serpent, what's that record? Something about the Serpent. Getting awesome. Yeah. Yeah,
And
I
there
listen to
was
that a lot, a lot. Yeah. Something about how the way he used to be able to sing sort of like so well like Freddie Mercury, and then he kind of got old and maybe destroyed his voice, but he still has the knowledge of how to sing like that. So it sounds like an old guy. That
yeah,
sounds so unique because you know what I mean? It sounds so wise or something. Yeah, it sounds,
yeah, yeah. No, it's there's definitely something about bands from that era, but I think genuinely, I think the thing about bands from that era is that they've imprinted on you at an age where you're incredibly suggestible, you know.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
so it literally, you soak it in like a sponge,
yeah, yeah.
and it's
I guess
it's
in my case, I never heard them until a few years ago. So
oh
I,
really?
yeah, I'm going fresh. Yeah, yeah,
Cool.
yeah.
That's that now that is weird that you discovered Magnum, this band who've been around like since the earth.
Yeah,
And
I remember seeing like interviews with them in like maybe like Kerrang or Metal Hammer or something, but yeah, just one of those things, you could only buy so many records back in the day, and it probably wasn't going to be a Magnum record.
yeah. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean because I remember the sometimes the decision was made for you because if you got to the record shop and there it is, great. But if
Yeah,
you get to the record shop and there's two things, it's like, well, I got to make the decision and just remember
yeah,
those agonizing over, which one you're going to go for.
yeah, yeah. It's like I say, why I didn't have an Acid Rain record. My friend Jamie did. Like you get that one, I'll get this one.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. It was, and you're right. It was a case of like, yeah, let's you'd buddy up with getting the discography of a band, and it's like, well, he's got the first two albums, and I've got the most
Yeah,
recent two albums.
yeah, yeah. I have there's so many records that like my friend that I'm talking about passed away, 10 years ago, but I think of him like so often because partially because of the way he'd get one record and I get one. Because I
Yeah,
can't hear those records without thinking of him, and you know what I mean?
yeah, absolutely. Well, it's again, it's the power of music, isn't it?
Yeah,
It's
exactly. Yeah,
it's the soundtrack to our lives. I
yeah, for
believe
sure.
I believe someone once said that.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Yeah, but it is. I definitely think there is. The kind of scene that you were involved with at an early age and that I was involved with at an early age, it does really leave an impression on you. I mean, we did tours and tour buses for God's sake.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
like, you know, young bands now are like, "Ooh, a tour and a tour bus. What's that like?" Because they know they're never going to experience it.
yeah, yeah. I guess yeah, it's weird. Yeah, the first tour I did, we were in you know what a Suburban is? It was kind of like
Would we call that a motorhome in the UK?
no, it's more like a truck with a back on it. So it's like
Oh, right.
two rows of seats and then the back. Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like an exclusively North American design, but now you've described it, I know what you mean. I've
Yeah,
seen
yeah.
enough of those. I've seen enough of those in movies and TV to know what you mean.
Yeah, it's a wildly uncomfortable way to travel.
Yeah, it looks it, funnily enough.
Yeah.
It looks like a truck with a sort of yellow, a sort of Lego caravan built
Yeah.
onto the back of it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah, ours was brown with a yellow top. Yeah.
Touring's bad enough, but like, yeah, it's the sleep. It's the sleep that will save you.
Yeah, yeah. And if you're young, you kind of don't care, you know? Like now it would be like
True.
I'm staying home. Yeah.
So basically, so the rest of the band want to go on tour, and it's you that just wants to stay at home.
Uh we're all just doing our thing, you know?
Yeah,
We're
I know.
just we're like more creators, you know? We just like creating stuff, so but yeah, like if I can go and I'm happy to go too, you know, like I don't want to sound like I'm like sitting
Yeah,
here crying
no,
about it, you know. Like
yeah, yeah.
if
But
we
you,
book something, I go and we're like having a good time and whatever, playing shows and yeah, and come home. But
that's what it's all about, and I guess it depends on what you get offered as well.
yeah, well, we have like yeah, especially in Canada, you know, like there's no like end to the offers for us, kind of like we could just be going all
Yeah,
year, really, if we wanted all over the place. But like you want to have fun, you know, when you do something, you want to be into it. You don't just want to be standing there strumming away mindlessly for people because you've done it 10 million times, you know. You want to get out there, put everything you have into it, and come home all sore and wrecked.
yeah, it's got to be worth it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. No, I hear you, man. I hear you. Yeah, those offers come in, and it's just about quality control. Um, because
Yeah,
there's no point gigging for the sake of it, you know. I've been in bands with people that would, you know, they'd play the local store if they, you know, asked, you know, set up a stage.
yeah, yeah,
Um, and it's just like, look, you know, you can't just gig for the sake of it.
yeah. There's something to be said for that too, you know. Just but whatever. It's a lot of carrying stuff and doing stuff. It's like,
Yeah, it is. But also, it's like like say, if you, you know, if you're doing stuff, if it becomes a chore, like you said, it's supposed to be fun. You know, it's supposed to
yeah,
be it's supposed to be the highlight. You know, you write and record music so you can go out and play it live because that's where we all started. We didn't form our bands in a fucking studio.
yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah,
that's the bit.
yeah,
That's the bit that you're supposed to be doing.
yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, it's yeah, it's got to be fun.
That is for sure.
Absolutely. Well, look, Todd, it's been an absolute pleasure having a chat with you. I've really
Yeah,
enjoyed I've enjoyed going back down the old thrash metal memory lane with you.
yeah, yeah. Well, it's
So,
cool. Yeah, yeah. When I
did
saw that
you
record.
did you were you kind of able to get like the European thrash bands as well? You know, your Creators, Destructions, etc.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, and like Erosion. That was my favorite one actually. Erosion.
Erosion.
Yeah, yeah, they're from I think Germany.
Fuck
Just
me, you've done me again. I don't know Erosion either.
oh yeah, check out their record Mortal Agony. I
Right.
actually I thought the record was I thought the band was called Mortal Agony, but and the record was called Erosion because they have it reversed for some reason on the record. And then years later, I was like, yeah, I heard the band's called Erosion. I was like, what? Yeah,
Well,
yeah, it's
check it.
weird.
Make sure you check out Tiktaalica as well.
Okay, like how do I spell it? Like TIC
Oh,
Talica?
right. Hang on a second. Right. Excuse me, listeners and viewers, but if I'm going to spell it to you, um, you love the artwork for a start.
Okay. Oh yeah.
The guy who did it is an English, sorry, an English, Scottish guy called Dan, and his nickname is Ed Replica.
That's pretty funny.
Yeah. So how you spell it is because it's kind of Tiktaalica, Tik
Yeah.
T double A
Oh, two A's. Okay.
Lika, gods of Pangea, and you know what it looks like now as well.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, that's cool.
And I'm gonna get stuck into some sacrifice.
Yeah, yeah, you're gonna like it. And then after you listen to the new one, go listen to yeah, Reanimation.
Yes,
You'll
I
hear
will.
the comedian.
Um, and also, look, might see you out on the road somewhere. You never know. Our paths
That'd be
might
awesome.
cross. Hopefully, one day I will get to see Propagandhi. I would like that very much.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'll go listen to Acid Rain later too.
Will you come over? You come over. Let me know you're coming, and we'll go out together.
Okay, yeah, sounds for sure. Sounds
That'd be a
good.
killer. That'd be a killer tour, mate. That really
Yeah,
would.
yeah, that'd be with Moshkinstein ourselves around the bush.
Awesome.
So,
Thank you very much, mate. It's been an absolute pleasure.
yeah, you too. Take care, man. We'll see you
Cheers.
again.
You too.
Bye.
Bye bye.